Well, for another time this season, I get to say the phrase, "Welcome to Sydney Parade" on a sunny evening. Beautiful blue sky with wisps of cloud around. The flag is hanging half limp on the flagpole. And it's a lovely evening. So if you're in the area, I'd say break up your week, start your weekend and come on down. If you're not in the area or you can't come down, stick with us here on Pembroke Cricket Live on YouTube. Pembroke Women's first 11, remember which game I'm watching, taking on Clontarf tonight in a top division clash, round 1 of the women's season. And today we have another gentleman making his debut in the box, Harshish. See, we've only got one lesson to tell you about, and that's how to mute your microphone. Anyway, welcome.
Right, thanks, Greg. Absolute pleasure to be here. What a great day for cricket we have.
Seems to be a shame to have been in the office all day, to be honest with you.
Well, it says 11 degrees, but under the sun, this is pretty good Irish summer, I'd say.
Left arm over, starting off for Clontarf. Just played away on the offside. Yeah, beautiful evening for cricket. As I say, it makes having been sat in a room all day sort of, you missed out on this. It's not like the Irish summer is renowned for great sunshine.
That's the summer guilt I've heard so much about.
Pembroke batting first tonight, which suggests that they won the toss, but again, I've no information to give you in that regard at the moment. And even trying to recognise who's batting out there at the moment, it looks like Little. Sarah Forbes you'd expect to be opening. She's been joined Pembroke last year after the demise of YMCA and opened here for the season, and the season went so well she made a breakthrough to the senior Irish team. No numbers on the backs of the Pembroke players. I always find that most disappointing. But I think, that's Sarah Forbes at one end. Just played out in the offside. Early season nerves, perhaps, do you think?
Always good to get your eye in, get the first few kind of balls out of the way, really.
Well,
see how the pitch is playing.
Yeah. Playing on pitch 7 tonight. Saw this pitch twice over the weekend. The first 11 playing on it both days.
Few balls in. Looks like it's really holding up. True bounce there.
Oh, that's gone way down the leg side. That will be signalled a wide. Just dragged it down, really, didn't she? You could see she didn't quite let go as she wanted to.
Good take by the keeper there.
Nice drive on the offside. It breaks through the fielder in the ring, but there is cover behind to keep it just to a single. Nice positive shot, though.
Yeah, good drive. Gets it rolling. Moves to strike.
It's going to be 5-4-5. It's too slow for 5-4-4. It's already there. It's someone else.
And signalled wide outside the off stump. Yeah, just again, I think it's tough for bowlers first over of a new season to be accurate. So maybe a few extras, few wides today.
Well, likewise, you can see the batsman kind of feeling out for just knocking that to point or maybe trying to get a single there. I don't think once you're set, you're doing much of that. The first few balls you play in the season, it's always a bit tough.
I'll just ask the honorary secretary about that. That's a much better ball. Pitching on leg. Had to be played. Just tapped away.
We have our first question, though. Who won the toss? We don't know.
We don't know who won the toss. We assume Pembroke. First game of the year. Get a score on the board. Then you know what you're defending.
I'd argue that's true for every game of the year.
Well, you could be right there as well. Oh, there we go. That's what happens when you try and boost the viewing figures by putting it on your phone. Dave Pepper. As I say, I can only speculate that Pembroke won the toss. We will try and find out that information for you once the scorer has set himself up.
We're 4-4, no loss, a 1 over. Both batsmen getting 1 run each with a single each, I think, and a couple of wides.
Yeah, extra's the top scorer at the moment, but that will change.
Actually, we have 3 wides, and only the opening batsman's got the single. Hard to do when you don't have a live ticker going.
Another one going down the leg side. You can see a bit of movement from that one, though. That will offer some hope to the bowler if you can get it to come across or back into the batsman like that. First 11 are congregating behind us. We'll probably see them with their game of football later on, but they've been evicted from their normal spot by this game. And a wide signalled. Good pace she's bowling at, though. Just wish I could tell you who it is. I'm sure one of our viewer. Oh, that gets away from the keeper, but oh, the fielder did all the hard work. She got down to it perfectly fine, but the momentum of the ball carried it past her. You missed that. She picked it up off the rope and went whoosh, and it went over the...
Oh, that's a tough one to see, really. Starting of the game.
Yeah, you've put the work in. You've made the dive. There's nothing worse than lying there going, I shouldn't have bothered. Anyway, first boundary of the season.
Hey!
First boundary of the game.
Yeah, 5-4-5.
That's a much better shot. Kind of puts it down to third man. Picked up pretty easy. That's good. You know the bowler's not happy with the last one, right? Like, gets an edge off.
Yeah.
Keeper misses it, runs down. Does all the hard work. And then just lets that slip.
Now, you watch here the magic of Niall Walsh will be that we'll see the bowlers' names, the batsmen's names. Oh, she's getting a baptism of fire here at the moment.
There you go. Now we can pretend like we know what we're doing.
Sinead Thompson.
Lucy Barry has been volunteered as the name already. Probably the previous bowler. Lucy Barry, I'm guessing, was the previous bowler.
No, Lucy Barry's this bowler. Sinead Thompson's the left-hander. That much I do remember from last season.
That was a true shot if I've seen one. Full toss kind of picked up. I think they've run that for 3.
I think it's gone for 4. Did they stop it in time?
Looks like it. I don't see a call from the umpire.
Umpire happy enough? Well, we'll see what comes up on the board. But Sarah Forbes underway. They're slowly catching up here. It was a 4. So in the bottom right-hand side of your screen, you'll see ball by ball. The bowler. You can see the bowler's name and figures. And this used to be in blue. The run rate in the overs used to be in blue, and you couldn't see it. Noel very gracefully changed it for us, as that's a super shot out in the offside. There is a boundary rider there, but they're going to pick up 2. That was a cracking shot by Forbes. You can see she's grown in confidence since wearing the green.
Absolutely. Pitched wide, picked up really nicely, hit a really true shot down there. The boundary rider gets it. Good running between the wickets too.
14 runs added to the score from this over so far. And still 3 balls to come. Another one with good pace. Gets through to the keeper. Dot ball. Hey, JJ.
Yeah.
How's the arm?
Yeah, better. For sure. It was not in a great way on Saturday, but anyway, we're better today.
JJ took a couple of blows to the forearm on Saturday. Gone out shortly afterwards. Nice shot again, played, but the fielder does well, gets a hand to it.
They scamper in for a single, so that's good running between the wickets.
I don't know yet because the scoreboard's gone backwards. They're obviously doing a bit of catching up or a bit of correcting. It was a tough over. I did say 14 had come from it. So they're obviously just agreeing between live scoring.
Yeah,
see, that goes past the rope. So that was 4. Well, we know the score is a lot more than 6 anyway. Here we go. It's slowly going, or it's quickly going up. Thompson again from St John's End, hooked around the corner. There is a fielder down there at long leg and just keeps it to a single. It's actually Lou Little who's getting all the runs. See, the live scoring, we rely on it so much, we believe it like it's gospel, and then suddenly they go back 2 overs and you think, oh, what happened there? So I think we're up to date again now. 20 for 0 off 2. We're up to 21 now. Thompson's first ball, a little short on the leg side. Forbes carves one through the offside square of the wicket, and that's going to run to the fence. You can tell when it's going to because the fielder was a spectator and they knew they were going to get to it before the players. Good shot.
Yeah, shot wide, picked up nicely early, hits that right to the gap, runs away for 4.
Super shot. 4 more onto the total. Pembroke going along at a good run rate here at the moment.
We're just a couple of overs in. Let's see what Clontarf has to kind of pull that back. But for now, it looks like these 2 are pretty well set and know what's happening. Oh, that's a good ball.
That's one of Thompson's best balls so far. But that shot from Forbes to get off the mark, cracked away. Outfield not quite as fast as it'll be in the coming months, but it didn't need to be with that shot.
That's a good way to get off the mark, really. Good amount of confidence. Pick up one that you should pick up. Hit it well.
Thompson drifting onto the pads on this occasion. It's pulled round to square leg. They'll just take a single. Well, that's probably a good result for Thompson.
There's a hint of swing there, I think, if you find the right
Yeah,
line. I think that's, if that comes in, that's a tough ball to play.
Sometimes getting it back into the right-hander. On that occasion, it took it more onto the pads. It sort of pitched on leg, moving onto the pads and just clipped away for the single. Now the real work begins. First team practice will begin in a couple of minutes. Oh, that's a lovely shot. Picked up beautifully, lifted over the ring, and was it straight in?
I think
and
that's
it is.
a 6. What a great shot.
Lou Little really benefiting from professionalism, the training, the strength training. and conditioning, and that's enabled her, between strength and timing, to lift one down to the clubhouse for the maximum.
We're just warming up then.
Craig, is that the shorter boundary right there from that
Oh
point
yeah,
to the...
oh yeah.
That's one of the
Running
advantage-
down to the clubhouse is renowned.
It's one of the advantages of having kind of a home game, isn't it? You know the angles, you know where.
Where to play it to.
Absolutely.
This one is just played into gully. It's fielded there. But again, another good over. 12 runs coming from it. The score's moved on to 32 without loss after 3 overs. And we'd like to welcome and thank our viewers. 21 devices tuned in for this women's game in Sydney Parade this evening. 7th of March. And I just can't get over how good the weather is. I mean, I'm not lying out on with a cocktail or diving in the pool every half an hour to cool off. It's not that kind of weather. But for a Thursday evening in very early May, it's very acceptable.
Craig, you know, some people are doing that, right?
Yeah.
It might not be you, but I bet you go to the right spots and you can find enough people in Dublin doing that.
Very much so.
All right, that's much better by Barry. Good line, cramping in. Hint of in-swing there.
Good evening, Steve McCarthy, one of our viewers. This time the swinging bat of Forbes fails to make contact. It goes through to the keeper. And start your over with 2 dots after conceding 16 off the first over. You'd be a bit happier, wouldn't you?
For sure, gets your confidence a bit up. To be fair, she is bowling to not the person who hit her for those 16.
This one, field does its job. So who have you told you're commentating tonight? Family?
Well, just a few friends at the club. Sid was here last few games this weekend. I hope he's telling other people.
And you wouldn't be ringing mum and dad and saying, tune into YouTube. Nice.
I feel like it's a bit late in India to follow a...
Not at all. I mean, 6 o'clock. 6:30 is midnight.
Yes, it's about 10:30 p.m. there right now.
Yes. Catch a
I
few
can
overs,
tell
catch
you
a
the
few words.
Yeah, the YouTube analytics will tell you a few people from India are surely watching.
Oh, no, we often get people from the subcontinent, and that is beautifully played through the ring. It's going to run down to the rope right in front of the clubhouse windows, and that's a super shot.
She's been connecting well, just finding the fielders a couple of times there in this over. I think just finding that gap was really well played. Got herself in a nice position.
Oh, he talks to himself a lot as well, that's the other thing. Cracked away, you heard that one come off the bat beautifully. And that runs away down towards the covers. And another 4. And what looked like a super over, starting with 4 dots, eventually has gone for 8. And the score now has moved on to 40 without loss after 4 overs. And even I can work out the run rate there, he says, picking up his phone. Well, while they are changing ends, I've just pressed a button to see what it does. It does do that. No pictures, but you can see Lou Little, 21 off just 11. Sarah Forbes, 13 off 13. And a partnership of 40 off just 24 balls. An excellent start for Pembroke. And they'd certainly be the happier of the 2 teams at the moment.
Yeah, if someone tells you if you want 40 for nil in 4 overs in your first game, you'll pick that any day, wouldn't you?
I think even the teams in the IPL would be happy with 40 off 4. I'm thinking of starting a WhatsApp group for people in Pembroke Cricket Live, a WhatsApp group, just for notifications of when games are on. It saved me putting it into about 8 different groups that I'm a member of. What I might do is just dump everybody into it that I know, and then they can leave it if they want to. Another one wide. Walsh it is, who's come on at the St John's end, and she started with a dot. And a lovely throw in from the rope. That's a great piece of fielding down there. Alice Walsh, she'll be appearing in the Super Series. Another player the selectors have an eye on. And given. I don't think there was too much doubt there. Lou Little pinned in front, and the first wicket has fallen with the score on 42, and that's a breakthrough that Clontarf needed.
Good change of bowling there by the captain. They'll be happy with that. Walsh picks up the first wicket and a breakthrough that was much needed.
There you go.
There's the replay again. We can see that.
I don't think there's too much doubt about this. They didn't really make the umpire do anything.
Ooh, hits on the back leg. That's as Plum gets.
Lou's look at the umpire said it all.
What, me? What,
No, as
me?
soon as it happened, the head just went straight to the umpire. Then
Yeah.
it was head down. Didn't work at all.
Yeah. No, you know you're in difficulty there. That was for sure. And Pembroke now 42 for 1. Lou Little back in the hutch for 23.
Sometimes that's what you need, right? Like a bit of a breakthrough, an over that looks good. The person who was being the true destructive batsman back in the shed.
Be happy with that one. Couldn't have been more plum, that one. No, can we show the replay again? Yep. Couple of members of the Clontarf support team having a look at that replay.
Left with a smile, I say.
Oh, very much so. Oh, bit of hesitation between the Pembroke bats as to whether they were going to take a run or not. Let's hear some calling. Let's be louder. It's not a negotiation.
As a team trying to claw things back, that's something you're happy with?
Oh, very much so. Isabel Jennings, the new bat, facing the bowling of the successful Walsh. Another one where there's not too much of a call. These two will have to build a relationship here now. They need to talk to each other. They need to understand and trust. So in fact, there you go. Sarah Forbes, the international, going down and just imparting a little bit of advice. And I think that advice will be, speak up.
Yeah, you like to see that.
Yes, and I'll run.
Yeah.
Or I'll scream no at you.
Oh, another good ball and another LBW, and Jennings is on her way, and that's the first duck, and that is fabulous from Alice Walsh. Jennings goes, second wicket falls.
There you go.
There we have the replay again. I
Two
think that
balls, 2 wickets in the over. It's almost identical, isn't it?
It's
a bit fuller.
honestly, I feel like we thought it couldn't get clearer or
Well,
more
that's-
plumb,
yeah, that-
and then that one definitely was. I feel like Jennings was definitely a bit jittery there in the
Yeah,
beginning
it's-
with a couple of just knocks over to
Not moving her
point
feet
there.
as well. So causing herself problems. 2 LBWs, and I don't think anybody's disputing either one of those.
That's a good over and exactly what Clontarf needed with the start we had there. Maybe we put a bit of a jinx there, Craig.
Yep.
Cooking them a bit too much up after the first 4 overs.
Well, the new bats come to the middle. Shauna Kavanagh. Shauna, who was an Irish international for many years, retired last year, I think it was. But still heavily involved at club level, an organisational committee member, as well as everything else. 5 overs gone then.
Usually it's on. If you walk close to it, you'll get under as well.
Oh, that's just a full toss. Oh, and a nice piece of fielding. And
think
she's
that's
out
out.
caught. Yeah,
Wow.
absolutely fabulous. Kavanagh's first ball just lifted into the leg side. It was a full toss. She thought she was going to put it away. The catch is taken. And Pembroke have gone from 42 for no wicket to 42 for 3.
Forbes, isn't it?
Well,
We have
yes, it is, Sarah.
There you go.
All right, we have a game brewing here. Both the set batsmen back to the shed.
3 wickets,
Clontarf
no
gets-
runs. Yeah.
Clontarf really gets the breakthroughs they needed back in the game, and how.
My word, this does make it interesting.
Really picked her out very well.
And it's not like it's just one Clontarf bowler. They're sharing the wickets out. See it again here. Kavanagh, if anything, had to stretch a bit for this. Forbes, sorry. And just lifted it straight to the hands, and the catch was taken. Nice catch.
Good safe hands there. Would you tell the new batsman coming in right now, Craig? You have a good kind of setup, beginning of it. You're just 3 wickets down. The game's quite a bit left now. Both of them are new batsmen here. What do you think is a conversation happening right now?
Just rebuild. Just, play your most natural way. And there we go. Pembroke get off the dreaded 42 anyway, with help of a wide. But yes. Oh, that was some 3-ball turnaround.
I guess you start to rebuild, start from scratch again. Forget about the score that is right now. We have 15 overs to go. What are we targeting? Let's find some singles there, get the rotation of the strike going, figure out how the ball's landing, how the pitch is playing. Forget about the start you had. You don't need to keep up that run rate, really.
Yeah. No, it's a good start. It's giving you a foundation, so you can afford to take your time here and take a little bit longer. As you say, it's a matter of just get yourself in now. Bell chasing one outside the off stump, and that's another wide. And again, even if you just stay in, you're going to put a bit of a partnership together as the bowlers are trying to find a rhythm at the moment.
Yeah, that's the kind of jitter as the last shot that we just saw that I was talking about. When the ball's really going way outside the wide line, you just kind of try to chase it with a bit of a nothing shot.
You can't get any power into that shot then. And she left that one though.
But that was wide enough to leave for sure. But that also shows you a bit of swing in the ball there. There's a good bit of movement, something for the bowlers.
Pasley is pushing the ball away. It's sliding away from the right-hander.
Another full toss.
This time
Played away
along the ground. The safer option taken. And that will get Bell off the mark, and she'll feel better for that. We said it with the openers.
Well, it's funny how just getting bat on ball is a huge kind of confidence booster at a time like this. You know you are getting the free runs from the wides, but it somehow adds to the tension for the first time the ball comes at you.
Yeah, sorry, do you want
Reaching for one outside off this time, pushing it into the gap. 3 fielders converging on that. The one coming into it is the one who takes it, and returns it, and keeps it to a single. 2 balls left in the over. Is 6 the power play in this now? There's the Pembroke bench. That'll be full of anxiety at having to go out to bat and disappointment at having got out so cheaply. There's a mixture of emotions on that bench. Some people who will want to talk about everything and other people who won't want to talk about anything. Evening, Joe. Very yellow runners, Joe. Probably not the best time to be talking to him. The bowler steaming in at him. Oh, that's thought of an overthrow there. Not to be.
That's it. That's not too bad. Just get a few balls on the bat, even if you're...
Those are Joe's new yellow runners, and my golly, aren't they yellow? Sunglasses.
I would have called that neon green. But then again, what do I know?
Highlighter yellow. That's what I'm going with. So, 7th over about to begin. I suspect it'll be Alice Walsh again, and why wouldn't it be? She's the one who started all this wicket taking and pulling back at the Pembroke horses. And the darts start. We had no darts over the weekend. It was engineering works. But it was great.
No
But-
trains at all.
No. Oh, there was one.
Oh, yeah.
There was an engineering train that sort of stopped.
I'm not counting that one.
But yeah, it was so quiet all over the weekend. It was lovely. But the darts are back. And they're good because they help people get down here. Walsh in. A little bit wide outside off. Crashed away to the offside boundary. The fielder down there doesn't take it cleanly, but does stop it. And Kavanagh gets off strike.
I know we have a couple of overs of Clontarf really clawing that back in, but then 6 overs in, if you're 48, that's not a bad score still.
You'd be happy enough, wouldn't you? 8 and over.
I think that's what the Pembroke team needs to remember.
Well, they don't need to go chasing runs at this stage. Oh, that's very wide. And will be signalled as such. Many thanks to Dave Pepper. It was Lucy Barry bowling earlier. Through to the keeper. I haven't seen the number on the keeper's back yet, but I suspect if there is one, it'll be number 3. I think that's Christina Coulter-Riley behind the stumps. That one gets past the keeper, but they decide against the extra. Yeah, I think I took all the good stuff out of my bag. I think I've left all the sweeties at home today. There's a few Bueno bars inside, I know.
Probably going down leg there.
Oh, well. Had a good lunch today on the basis of I knew I was coming down here, so doner kebab for lunch today. I have to say, in the history of doner kebabs, it ranked bottom 10 rather than top 10.
As long as it keeps you full for this
Yeah.
game, Craig.
Well, that was the aim. Another good ball going across. A stifled appeal for the bowler, but missing leg stump. Just the 2 runs from that over. Pembroke reached the 7th over with 49, with the loss of 3 wickets. Lou Little for 23, Isabel Jennings for a duck, and then Sarah Forbes went for 13. Do I have time for this? Just show you the Pembroke card. There you go. A few runs at the top, and then those 3 quick wickets. 10 extras so far then from 7 overs. See the way I control that.
It's magic on screen.
The power that Niall gives me is incredible. Chasing another wide one. The fielder on the far side. The boundaries are very big for this game. They're the same as the first team had at the weekend. They would be bigger than a Super Series 220, Niall.
We've already seen a few being picked up, so we know that the outfield's true enough and fast enough for that to run if you pick the gaps.
Another one almost on the full, played out on the offside, beats the diving fielder, but covered, but can't stop the single. And you get the feeling that the two bats now are starting to feel, okay, we can do this.
I think rotating the strike is really the key to it.
Certainly the key to a decent score is reducing the number of dot balls you have, turning the dots into ones, the ones into twos. Really can help your score. This time pushed into the offside, quickly called, and although the fielder picked it up cleanly, the bats were home very easily. Pembroke have gone past 50 now, half century up at one stage. Well, they were racing along 40 off 4 overs. The next 3 overs have only produced 9 runs, but cost those 3 wickets. And this is really turning into a tight battle tonight. Nicely played away past the fielder at point, making the boundary rider come in and fetch it. Is that better or worse?
Looks better for me. I don't know about you.
There we go. We'll go with that.
All right, that's good.
Sounded like the opticians, didn't it? Better or worse? This one's beaten the keeper and has run away to the boundary, and there's another 4 extras for the Pembroke total. They'll move on to 57. That will take extras up to 14 in this, the 8th over. Well, if you're getting 2 runs and over,
just with extras,
yeah,
you're going to be happy with that. A couple of singles here and there, get a few extras there, and you have pretty good over. 6-7 runs off that.
Straight to the fielder. That is the end of the 8th over. The score has moved on to 57 for 3, and you see the difference those 4 byes made. 4 singles for the first 4 balls, which Clontarf would have been happy with, but suddenly there's 8 off the over.
Yeah, even if we didn't have that, I think the Pembroke team is happy with the few singles there. Just the old adage of just being in there longer makes it easier is a cliche for a reason.
And it lets you sort of, for those final 6-7 overs, if you've got the wickets in hand, you can really take on the bowling at that stage, and scores can be transformed. But at the moment, it's nip and tuck, 57 for 3. Evening.
We have Paisley, I think, changing ends here.
Oh no, that's still her for last over.
Oh, okay. We still have Amanda Walsh bowling.
Alice
Walsh.
Alice Walsh.
Sorry about that.
That's all right. You weren't to know. Oh, another one for the extras column.
That's a 3rd over there, Craig, on the trot, and why wouldn't you? I guess you're hoping for her to get you.
5 for 2 from 13 deliveries.
That's true. Do you try to play her out for this over? You know that she's the one who's been dangerous with her balls coming in, and trying to get that. That's a good shot.
I think Shauna will take her on anyway. I just think that they will play their natural game against her. They won't especially try to keep her out, but they won't go and try and take her on either. It'll be that middle course that they'll be looking for.
That's a quick 2. Sat down and sweeped her. Boundary rider picks it up. But they run 2 in the process.
Many thanks to the 30 devices that have tuned in. We hope you're enjoying this game. Top division game between champions of 2024, Pembroke, and the champions of 2023, Clontarf. So it was funny. Clontarf came third in the league last year, I think, but the team in seventh was only 2 points behind.
Wow.
So it was a very tight league. Oh, that's outside the wide line anyway. Another one onto the total. As I say, they're averaging sort of 2 extras and over.
Wide again. Batsman reaches out for it. Scampers for a quick double. That's good running between the wickets.
And this over, that's 6 runs that have come off the bat. Add in those 2 extras and suddenly 8 and over.
Still have 2 balls to go.
Of course, Pembroke missing Orla Prendergast today. She's off and about. We saw... Oh, that's a cracking shot. It was a full toss and it was on her body and she just came across it and pulled it down square leg. Deserved more than 1, didn't it?
Cut across well by the boundary rider there. Just one person on the leg side aware and ready for that shot.
Very bright shoes, Joe. Oh, square leg umpire calling no ball. And he called no ball for... It looks like, yeah.
I have to admit with Sean, I would be tempted to have about 4 out over there.
Yeah. Well, it's a free hit now for Shauna Kavanagh. Let's see what she makes of this. It's a wide.
Get herself stumped off.
And it's still a free hit. Derek Dockrell, his free hit signal is like a man in town trying to get a taxi. Oh, dragged down. Oh, yeah. Did you see the bowler had no argument with the umpire. She put her hands to her mouth and thought, oh no, that was horribly wrong. Just didn't let go of the ball where she wanted to. Unfortunate.
It's been a good over for Pembroke, given that they're facing the best bowler from the other side, at least with the figure she had before this over till now.
And this one just paddled around the corner by Kavanagh.
Hit right to the fielder,
And
but they
that
still
is-
got a pretty comfortable one.
That is the end of the 9th over, and 13 runs to Pembroke on that over. And they didn't really seem to do an awful lot to get that 13 runs without a boundary.
Graham's hiding place.
Graham, the flower man.
Behind the little yellow flowers.
Half of those 13 coming from extras. They're not something the bowling coach would like to see.
No, they wouldn't. No, they wouldn't. Of course, the chat line, if you're a subscriber, is always open on Pembroke Cricket Live. We only ask that you remember that this is a family show. And I think it won't be very long before I'm going to the car to get a hat.
I didn't know you were legally allowed to complain about the sun here.
Oh, I'm not complaining. Trust me. It's just that I had a growth on my ear, and no, luckily it was completely benign and everything. But having that taken off sort of concentrates your mind about things like sun spray and that sort of. Between Amanda telling me and remembering what it was like, yeah. So I will go and get a hat to go with the sunscreen I put on earlier.
Checks out.
Just in case Amanda's in the airport at the moment and sitting there watching this on her phone.
Well, I'll tell you, being a brown person from India, I hadn't heard of sunscreen till I was 25.
Another full bunger. It's clipped around the corner. It will just be a single. I think it was okay on height. It was more a full toss than above the waist or anything like that. So, another run for Bell. She moves on to 8 from 14. Kavanagh 9 off 13. And they've been steady because they know that the scoreboard is ticking over anyway.
Yeah, those extras really take the pressure off the batsman to get the scoreboard ticking.
Yeah. Another cracking shot. You heard it. Leather on Willow there.
That fielder there has really had a lot of work to do today. Whether bowling from either end.
Yes. And a good job she's doing out there too. I reckon she saved a dozen runs, if not more, at this stage. Plus she's been coming in 20, 30 yards and collecting those ones and stopping the second.
Clearly very dependable, given that she's the only one riding the...
Oh, that could be a no ball. It is signalled no ball. It comes down towards the rope, but the fielder there, narrow third, gets in behind the keeper and saves that one from going to the boundary. But it will be another free hit. Kavanagh it is.
They took a single there.
I think so.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they took 2.
Yep.
So Kavanagh it is
Took
who will
one
face.
and once the no ball.
Sort of debate as to what's to happen. The moving fielder's on the offside.
Oh, except it's free hit, so I reckon she might try and get
This one, big baseball swing at it. Bell calls for the second. She's going to have the motor. She does. Gets home nice and safely. And 2 off the free hit. Take Pembroke on to 77 for 3. Yeah. Oh, it was.
She knows they don't want to give her that one. So she's looking to...
See, that's an international player. Recognises that that's a good ball and not to be messed with. Just play it back down. Dot ball doesn't matter. So there we are. We're at the halfway mark. 10 overs gone. 77 for 3. And now this is when we ask our seers, our forecasters, our predictors, our Madam Whatever. I can tell the future. How many are Pembroke going to get after 20 overs? They're 77 for 3 after 10. Niall?
150.
I think they're looking at a 150. They'd be disappointed if they don't get 150 after this start.
Oh, Niall's already
Right,
picked
yeah.
150. So what are you going? 155?
I'll say 155.
See, I really mess you up now. I'm going to go for 1.6. I got the 160. Hey, it messes you around. You have a very narrow window.
Watch me win it, Craig. Watch me pick the exact score.
I'll be waiting for a text from Amanda and from James Cresswell. James, who's currently is the one.
You can just write it down.
James is the one who managed to call two wickets. As Kavanagh just drops one into the leg side, takes a smart single. Fielders weren't ready for that, weren't expecting it. She takes the single, goes on to 12 or 13. And I'm going to leave you with Harshis for a minute while I go and get that hat.
You're still seeing a bit of outswing there. Knocks it down.
I just remember you taking that going, sure, I might as well keep.
These two batsmen are really getting confident, rotating the strike well, which is good for now. The question is, when do they pick up the pace? Knock to the offside. Quick single. Both batsmen now in double digits. Goes down leg. Runs down, fine leg. They run for 2, stopped at the boundary. They stop at 2. Bit wisely. Signal does leg by. We had a bit of a hiccup there, but I think Pembroke's still standing pretty comfortable at 82 for 3. Reaches out, knocks one to the offside. They're going to get 2 there. It goes for a boundary. 3 fielders chasing that, converging in, can't get to it before it goes over the ropes. 11 overs. That's a good shot. Reaches out, finds the gap. That's a good chase, but can't get there in time.
You want me to pull this down a notch?
Yeah.
We had a bit of a hiccup there, Craig, but
I suddenly realised.
that's
Suddenly realised with a wide brim hat, I couldn't put the headphones on. That's perfect. That's exactly what I wanted.
well. That tells you you should have just asked now for what you need, and
Yeah,
it will be provided.
he is the expert. That was a good over for Pembroke's. 9 runs coming from it.
That's a wide again to start that over.
Oh, and surprisingly, James went for 167.
James, too short of what we'd expect from you.
I would imagine they're pretty happy with. They're probably getting 167 with where they are right now.
Well, they'll certainly be hoping to push it on. If these two stay in for much longer, they certainly will be.
You look at these 2 batsmen here. They aren't scoring at a very fast rate, but you look at the score and you're pretty happy with that. You're about 8 runs and over.
Just played away onto the offside, single taken, but good calling, good running. And as you were saying from the start of the innings, you just want to be rotating that strike and scoring those singles.
Yeah, it looks like the communication has really started getting better as the innings has gone on. They're just knocking it, tapping it here, putting it straight to the fielders, scampering for those singles. Puts a lot of pressure on those fielders right there. No more false starts, no more. We haven't seen that for a while. They've been very good with their calling and running.
Absolutely spot on. And you can see young Zoe Bell backing up, taking that bit of a lead. And enables her to just jog through for a single and take the score on to 89. These two came together with the score on 42, which was that calamitous time for Pembroke. So close to a 50 partnership here now. That one comes off the toe of the bat. Quick call of no. Sends Kavanagh back to the non-striker's end.
That's the good calling we were talking about. Don't think there was an easy single there at all. Quick, loud, communicative. Everything you were talking about, Craig. Love to see it.
Very full pitch, well kept out by Bell on this occasion. I'm sure members of her family are tuned in and watching. James Cresswell joining in on the chat. So 89 then. quiet enough over. Just the 3 coming from it. Sort of making a mess of all those people who were saying 160 and 167, and there's a couple of quiet overs like that, and you wouldn't know what would happen. Nice first delivery. That's what you want, is that accuracy.
A lot of the shots played today are when it's like short or wide. Keep it at the stumps, and it's not been very easy to hit that across.
And when the ball is very good, it's very, very good. But as we said, there have been that many extras at this stage that you kind of, if they hadn't given away that many extras, how many would they be on? You'd be thinking the score would be 70 odd at this stage.
Full toss swept again, picked up again by the fielder in the deep there.
What a lovely picture of Amanda with the trophy that the Lions will be competing for in Australia.
That looks like a proud person right there.
Yeah, it also means she's not watching the cricket. So all that stuff about my sunscreen being on, wasted.
You'd be surprised, wait for 6 minutes and you'd get a chat right up there. Picks up one that was going for another wide. It edges off to third man. They take a single. It's one run nonetheless.
Suddenly Clontarf looked to have found a little bit of control. The previous over only going for 3. Just 2 singles taken this over. Hiya, Skip. Club captain Paul Lawson. Oh, that's high. It signalled no ball. It's played around to square leg. They will take a single. Shauna Kavanagh very keen to get back for 2, knowing that there's going to be a free hit.
That was interesting, right? Comes over the waist, and I think she just predicted it to dip a bit more and sat down to hit that sweep. Does well to get back to it. Having a quick chat. Greg, do you think there's a lot of pressure to convert those free hits into a big kind of boundary score? Or do you think that's kind of...
I think the pressure's more from people on the sidelines. Oh, it's a free hit. You can hit it anywhere. Well, sometimes it's just a very good ball. You can't. This one played into the leg side. The fielders are going for it.
They're going for 2. That's a bit...
Kavanagh.
All right, they make it pretty comfortably at the end there.
I think Shauna Kavanagh said that was 2 just before they even started. So that's, again, the experience of the international, knowing that at very best the player was still going to get there, pick it up cleanly and throw it. She still had time to get back for the second. She does. 13 overs gone. 95 for 3. Gemma Sargent, 2 overs for 13, I would suggest, is probably the pick of the bowlers so far.
Well, that no ball there gave them about 3 runs off that last ball. She's just going for 2 of the over before that.
There is the worm. You can see the start that Pembroke got off to. They went racing along, but that's starting to pick up again now, I think. As I say, Clontarf just doing their best to slow it down. Couple of good overs, but I think we're now at the stage whereby Pembroke will think with 7 wickets in hand, we can afford to be a bit more chasing of runs. Sweep attempted by Bell, or by Kavanagh, rather. Trying to sweep one round to the leg side boundary.
Kept well by the keeper there.
Not an easy one to keep to. But she managed to get round for it. But keeping's come on in leaps and bounds. Oh, that is a lovely shot. It's out to the fielder, and the fielder has put it down. Lifted it very nicely, but the fielder could get there. Unfortunately, the catch went to ground, and they get the single, and Kavanagh survives this chance. She was onto it quickly. And you see the fielder coming into it, and it just made it down to the ground. Well struck, and a nice single by Bell. Getting Kavanagh back on strike. I think we've all been way too optimistic. I think Niles 150 is going to be closest just because it's the lowest. This one cracked away, and it could be, it's going to reach the fence. We haven't seen one do that for a while. Cracked through the offside, through the covers, glorious shot, 4 onto the total, and it brings up 100 for Pembroke. Here it is again. It was wide, she reached for it and got it on the middle of the bat, and it just shot away to the boundary. The fielders, well, they didn't really chase after it.
I'm still looking at that 150 plus score there. Craig, a full toss there, swept well, hit another one, no one there on fine leg. That races away to the boundary. Great shot, well picked.
When your first 4 only cost 2 runs and you walk away and you've conceded 10, well, that's going to be a little bit disheartening. So 105 for 3.
We've had a few overs like that over the past bit while where they start off really well in the first 4 or 5 balls.
There you go. Alice Walsh, 2 for 17 so far. Pasley, the other wicket, 1 for 9 from her 2. But Lucy Barry was expensive up top, and Sinead Thompson also. But Clontarf doing their best now. Get that off the screen, Craig. There we go. Just in time. I think I could have left it on the screen. It was that wide. It would have appeared out the side of the scorecard. So we start with a wide. McNally's at 3 overs now, costing 19. The run rate's still over 7.5, which is what they need for 150.
A full toss, hit well, goes over the circle, straight to the deep. They run 2. That's some good running. It was a bit risky there.
A bit closer than they wanted, I think, if the keeper had taken that cleanly.
Better throw, better collection by the keeper, either of those things, and
yep,
you would have been in trouble.
That's short to Bell.
Hit straight to the fielder. Does well to keep that in.
Five and a half overs to go.
Oh, that's it. Oh, that's a good ball right there. Soybell swings at it. Tries to get that over the inside ring at least. No fielder on the deep on this side. But that runs right through her defenses.
Partnership of 66 comes to an end. And that's the ball that did it. Trying to play it round to the leg side. It was too straight for that. You miss, I hit, and the wicket falls. And 4 down now with 108 on the board. And it'll be interesting to see who is next out to the middle.
Clontarf has seen how wickets in the middle of everything can slow things down if they keep it tight. They're definitely going to be hoping for a bit more of that with the score at 108 right now. think that they'd be pretty happy keeping it at 130s if they can. That's what I'd be targeting. As the bowling team, see where you go from there.
Yep. New bat to the crease. Izzy McLean. That's a shame for Sargent. Follows up such a beautiful delivery to take the wicket as Zoe Bell. Gives Izzy McLean a free. Let it go outside. Pick up the wide. Big swing at this one outside the off stump. 2 to go in the over. Signals Derek Dockrell. $109 for 4. McLean new to the crease. Kavanagh been there for a while now. McLean pads this one round the corner. Derek Dockrell score signals the scorer's leg by.
It's been a good over for Clontarf so far. Just a couple of runs coming off the bat. Well defended and that's the end of the over. We're 110 for 4 at the end of 15.
Well, you'd expect the assault to come now, but with a new bat to the middle, she's going to find a while to find her feet. And I think her job at this stage is to see how much of the strike she can give to Shauna. Get down the non-striker's end by hook or by crook. Leg by, run to the keeper, whatever it may be. It's just get that. Still sore, JJ?
Yeah, feeling it now a little bit.
I'd imagine that's what they were both talking about right now.
Yeah.
As the new batsman just takes strike. We have the return of Barry there. It was a bit expensive at the beginning. Let's see what she can do in a comeback. Huge swing and a miss.
What's winning this game? You think it's a 120 pitch, Dale?
Looks like we're having a conversation.
Well, it's a conversation between the production staff and the ground staff. Debate as to what we think will be a winning score. Another dot ball. Lucy Barry has returned. Her first 2 overs cost 24 runs. But she's come back with a couple of dots already.
You're really itching for a comeback over or two after those first 2.
You never like to see a bowler going for a lot of runs.
Batsman reaches out. Gets away with a wide one. Still to get off the mark. 5 balls in.
That one rattling into the pads, and finally Kavanagh can make her way down to the striker's end. 2 balls remaining in this over. Score moves on to 1-1-1 for 4. Doesn't quite have the same gravitas as 2-2-2 for 2. Decent crowd turned up tonight. A few people along the wall have come down to support. I think mainly Clontarf supporters, but that's...
Shout from the keeper, but no interest from the bowler as she turns around to go back to a run-up. Classic signs of something that's not there.
It was a solitary appeal. Just the keeper. But why not?
Last ball of the over, I think Kavanagh wants.
She wants to get the single here, I feel.
The offside has no one in the deep there. Oh, that's a good turnout for Barry there. Good over, gets a wicket too. Gets the settled batsman out, Kavanagh out for 29.
Well, with 16 overs gone, just one run and one wicket off that over. 111 for 5 off 16. Barry picks up her first wicket, and her figures have gone from 24 off 2 to 25 for 1 off 3.
That's a comeback over if I've ever seen one.
Redemption. Redemption. Kavanagh makes her way off, and while she does...
Here's the replay for that. Let's see that coming in. Bit of turn there. It hits her on the leg and then goes right onto the wickets.
Swung in and just hit the top of the bails, I think.
I think it clipped her feet there.
It may have done, because it did turn. But whichever way it was, Kavanagh finds herself back in the shed. Pembroke now find themselves 5 down with 4 wickets, 4 overs to go.
16 overs in, getting that kind of swing in the ball. That's good to see. That clearly there's something for the bowlers here.
Yeah. Well, 1 for 5. 4 overs, 24 balls to go. Runner ball will get them up to 135. All our guesses are wildly optimistic. Niall is going to be today's winner by saying 150. It's like the price is right, and everybody's guessed 50 cents, and the price is €3, you know.
I think you instant lose prices, right, if you get it over, don't you?
Yeah. You wouldn't get it for just being closest. You have to be closest and under. Not quite the situation here. So... Oh, it's in the air, but it's going to fall safely, and they will get through for the single. I mean, it's an innings that's been built on 2 partnerships. The opening partnership of 42, and then the partnership between Bell and Kavanagh of 66. And other than that, the partnerships have been 3, 0 and 0.
The foundations of any real innings, they're getting a good partnership rolling.
Nice ball right up in the block hole. Pasley. Very economical. And one suspects that she will bowl this, the 17th and the 19th.
I would venture Barry continues bowling the next over. Finishes her quota of 4 overs right there.
Cut away on the offside. They get through for the single.
Shukla off the mark.
This one, big swing of the bat, goes out to mid-off, throw at the stumps, and she's got her. That is going to be run out.
Good pickup, good throw. Hits the stumps. Batsman's way out.
Izzy McLean departs for 2. Run out there. And you can see the pressure building on the Pembroke players. They were looking to push the score on.
You ready? Let's see what happens. Hey.
Big swing of the bat. But it does go straight to the fielder. And direct hit always causes problems. And the bat wasn't even down, let alone sliding. So, Izzy McLean departs for 2, Another small partnership, just 2 there.
About 3 odd overs left, Craig. What's the new batsman thinking? Do you just try to keep it ticking? Get the score as high as you can.
Well, I think
Not
that's
to-
it. I think at this stage, with 4 overs, no, Niall, it wouldn't be that. 6 wickets down, you don't know what else is to come in. So, Niall suggesting that the all-out attack approach is the way to go.
Wise to not run for that again to the same fielder.
Well, because they saw what happened last time. 17 overs gone, 113 for 6. Hannah Little is the new bat in the middle. And 3 overs remain. And well, Clontarf have made fools of all of us. We saw Lou Little earlier on get 23 in the first 5 overs before perishing. Can her sister do something similar with just 3 overs to go? Just played away nicely on the leg side. Didn't try to overhit it. Will take the single. Shukla will be on strike. Best known in the club as Cheeky. Nicely played away on the offside. Calls through for the single quite nicely. They decide against taking the overthrow, but another single. I think that's, as much as Niall would like to see the boundaries cleared every other ball now, I think this is quite wise. It's just push it around, take the singles, don't lose a wicket. If there's a full toss somewhere, then yes, you're going to try and swivel on it and put it away. But,
What a
to
good
bowling
ball.
like this, you just keep it out. Hannah Little departs for just 1 and another wicket. And it just goes to show Clontarf have kept at their task all the way through this. They didn't panic when all the runs were going.
Looks like the continuation of the redemption arc for Barry after those first 2 overs. Again, to remind everyone, that was 24 of 2 for no wickets, and now we're looking at 3.2 overs, 27 with 2 wickets there. There's the replay there. I think it was a bit quicker than the rest of the ones as well. It sure felt like it.
She's still getting that movement in, and it's swung beautifully in and taken middle and leg. Another wicket down. 7 down now.
We were talking about that in the beginning, weren't we? About how it was going down leg side when she was bowling in the first spell, but that kind of swing in can be really dangerous if you put that line in well. It's good to see in the 18th over that much movement in the ball still.
Louise McCarthy in the middle now.
Travelling down on my state of tactics.
Now,
Keep Lee bat out if you want, but off you go, Louise.
Louise being given free rein by Niall Walsh. There'll be a few cheers down in Booterstown as Lou takes to the middle.
Down the leg side, shown wide by the umpire. Every single run is happy takings for Pembroke right now. They have been helped along a good bit by the extras, and we've been talking about that through this broadcast.
Two balls remaining in this, the 18th over. Pembroke just plodding along now since the departure of Zoe Bell for 17, shortly followed by Shauna Kavanagh. And it really has taken the steam out of the innings. Punch down the ground, but there'll be no run there.
Clontarf really keeping Pembroke on check with some of those direct hits on the stumps, reminding them of some of the runouts they've had.
It would make them think twice, wouldn't it? When you know the fielders are that accurate, you just build in that little margin of error. This one, no ball. That one leaving the pitch, one suspects. It will be a free hit. Here comes the signal.
No, is this Louise's first ever?
That's a very good question, Niall. She played a bit last year, so...
I asked her, she didn't play last year.
All right.
The year before, she played 1 or 2 games.
Has she seen a free hit before? Well, let's see what that freedom does for her. Crashed away on the offside. It will be just a single. But the intent was there, just didn't find the gap. That's the hide-and-seek champion.
Barry finishes with a quota of 4 overs with a very respectable 30 for 2. That's the completion of the redemption arc so far.
118 for 7. James just needs them to score 50 runs in these last 2 overs. I pick on James because he has the biggest number, but none of us are exactly covering ourselves with glory there. The optimism in the commentary box was, well, I think the weather. I think we're down here during the week. The weather's shining. There's cricket on. Of course, you're going to be optimistic. This one just trickles out in the offside, but it lets Louise McCarthy get through for another single. She moves on to 2. Score on to 119.
Well, expectations aside, I think a score of 120 to 130 seems like a very defendable score here.
A lot will depend, I think, as well on the accuracy of the Pembroke bowlers with regards to extras. That's a lovely shot. It's carved away. There is a fielder down there. It will only be a single.
The optimism of Craig really shining in there. I think that was a bit of an edge down to third man.
Ah, beautiful shot. It's one of the few attacking shots. Yep, absolutely.
Flash, flash hard. I've heard that said on this broadcast before.
And you'll hear it again, no doubt. Certainly the way we used to approach things. Of course, the gang's back together again on Sunday. The 6-11 are playing. Oh, just clears the bowler. And again, another single. And again, as you say, 120. Anything over 120, you know that the other team's got to score at least a run a ball. And if you can get a few maidens in early or cheap overs in early, that rate will climb quickly. Oh, that's a cracking catch. Caught in the covers. Shugler thought she had one to power away, hit it to the right of the fielder, and the fielder came across and took a very clean catch.
Yeah, we've had a couple of those this match so far. Some really low catches, which have been taken pretty cleanly inside the ring.
Shugler goes for 3. Partnership of 6. And again, all these single-digit partnerships. That's what's really held Pembroke back here tonight. Let's see what Niall's camera work is like on this delivery. Parsley coming in. Thought it was there in the slot. Very neat catch and nonchalant celebration. Just all in a day's work. All in a day's work. 121 for 8. And now just 8 balls remaining.
Not much to really fret about when you have 8 balls left.
Kim Lee McDonald, one of the leading wicket takers in Leinster last year, finds herself out in the middle, coming in at number 10.
Did you pay enough attention to know who 11 is?
No. Off the bat again, Played down to third again. McDonald getting down the far end. Single to an aim. And that's the end of the over.
How did you manage that, Louise?
122 for 8 off 19 overs.
Right, let's see if we can tell how she did it. What should we use?
Oh dear.
The subtle little backdrop.
2.3 pound bat, obviously taking its toll. Although I have to say, I did my first net of the season yesterday. And you do realise that these 2-3 pound bats do get very heavy after a while when your muscles aren't used to it.
Is a while a few decades there, Craig?
No, just first one of this season. Played a few last year. So to bowl the 20th over, I think it will be Sinead Thompson. She opened the bowling earlier on. She's coming from a different end. And I think coming around the wicket. That run rate that we saw up as high as 10 has dropped to 6.4 now.
Tells you how good that opening partnership was. That's in trouble.
And that's
That's
out.
out. Neat pick up from the keeper there, and then not trying to throw it. Just clips off the bails there. Batsman well out of their line there.
Louise McCarthy departs for 3, sacrificing her wicket in the pursuit of a run. And now Very Nickel will be the number 11. I obviously was paying some sort of attention earlier on. Well, that was easy enough. No great jubilation amongst the Clontarf players. They're more than happy. 9 down then. Last wicket partnership into the last over.
Let's see. So I just need 4 6s and a 4 out of Mary now. No pressure.
Niall's very optimistic about getting 4.
To bring in Very Nickel's innings.
I mean, the second half of the innings, I think Clontarf's done really well in keeping, especially the last few overs, even the extras in check there.
Parrot away on the offside. No run. Fielder takes the ball. Yeah, you'd say the first sort of 5 overs belonged to Pembroke, but once Clontarf took those 3 wickets in a clump, it sort of knocked the stuffing out. Now, a good partnership of 66 between Bell and Kavanagh saw Pembroke reach 110, but since then it's been a struggle. Thompson pulls out of a run-up. The umpire signals dead ball. I'm going to have to drop those ones 1 because I want to drop those ones again.
We're going to smack their heads.
Nice line from Thompson coming back into the right-handers' pads.
So, when you stand up, watch out.
Because it doesn't give. It hurts. Especially this.
People worried about me hitting
Your head.
my head on this kind of tent
Gazebo.
gazebo that we have over us. Highly overestimating my
Oh,
height
she's
here.
out.
She's out. That wraps it up.
Bowled. Score 122. All out. Clontarf will require 1, 2, 3. So we shall wait and see. But at the moment, that one just off the bat, off a foot, touches the bails. The bails jump to the ground. And that's another wicket for Thompson. And she ends up with 2 for 15. So we'll take you through the cards.
really positive start out there for Pembroke in the beginning, as you'll see in a moment right here.
There you go. You take us through the batting card.
Sarah and Louise really setting up the score in the beginning, getting us to a good start of 40 in the first 4 overs, and then we get to 42 and we see them tumble in a small bunch there. Couple of ducks.
Nobody really came to the fore after that, did they? Bell and Kavanagh with the stand of 66 and Forbes and Little with the stand of 42. Well, there's 108. So the rest of the side putting together 14 runs. Well, Clontarf had a hard start with the ball. It was tough for them there at the beginning, but they stuck at their task and they ended up coming out of it quite nicely. Alice Walsh, 2 for 17, the pick of the bowlers, and Sinead Thompson, well, 1 for 15, and Gemma Sargent 1 for 17. Pasley also picked up a couple, and so did Lucy Barry. As we said, a redemption for her. Her first 2 overs cost 24 runs. The following 2 cost 6 runs, and she picked up 2 wickets. You can see the stands, the stand of 42 at the start, and then 3 wickets falling, and then a stand of 66, and then really in the 110s, it got absolutely stuck there. 30 extras were a big help for them, though. So, with Clontarf to bat,
You knock those extras down, and that's a under 100 score. Tells you how much difference that makes. We're at 122, the target of 123 for Clontarf as they come out to bat. They'd be happy with that, wouldn't you think?
I'd have thought so, especially after 4 overs. So we'll take a short break and we'll join you for the second innings. We'll leave you with the Pembroke bowlers warming up.
It took forever to get going.
You're standing right.
Sorry.
You're standing right.
Okay, man. Different rules for. I got them to change them on the back.
Well, welcome back to Sydney Parade. Clontarf about to begin their innings. They're in pursuit of Pembroke's 122 for 10 that you see on your screen. Very nickel, the last person out in the last over with one ball remaining. Pembroke had raced up to 40 after 4 overs, 10 and over. And it really messed up the predictions of the commentary team tonight. Christine Coulter-Riley opening the batting for Clontarf tonight. She's joined by Alice Walsh. And opening the bowling for Pembroke, I think, is Lou Little. Pushes that one across the right-hander. It'll be signalled wide, and Clontarf's chase is underway. Well, I think a lot of Clontarf's hopes will be resting on Christina Coulter-Riley. She kept wicket in the first innings, did a tidy job, but now she's leading a side's pursuit of 1, 2, 3 for victory.
There you go.
Wow, well, well.
Talk about jinxing things, Craig.
1 for 1.
First ball, the first legal delivery in, nicks it off. The first slip makes no mistake.
Well,
there we have it.
This was super work by the Pembroke side. Nice delivery from Little. Encourages the swing of the bat, and it just flies away to first slip, and the catch is taken there with some delight.
Jubilation right there as you get your first breakthrough. Puts the pressure right onto the batting side, even before they've started their chase.
It does. Certainly one of the big bats you'd have expected in the Clontarf side. Christine Coulter-Riley in the full Irish squad now, but she's also starred at the Super Series level. So Pembroke will be delighted to see the back of her. Big swing of the bat early on, perhaps not the wisest shot. You can put that down, you know, we don't mind. At least we know that the bar is open.
Bit of an obligation to have a pint when the sun's this nice.
Absolutely.
A good ball right there. Close to the stumps, closer than comfortable really there.
Not the sort of ball that Joanne McNally would have wanted first up, but she survived it. She's still there.
Just dropped the bat on the shot there. A bit of a non-committal sort of shot there. Keeps the line well.
It's Bill, isn't it? Oh no, Bill's there.
McNally swings at it, trying to connect. I think she's happy that doesn't get the edge there. Just bowling a really good, disciplined line.
One of the mainstays of the Irish attack now, Lou Little. Good pace. Played away on the offside, but the fielder's down to it. Well, Alice Walsh backing up a long way, made it back safely, but there was a moment there where, ooh, all it would have taken would have been a slip. She could have been in some trouble. Wasn't to be.
Those are really the jitters of a chase itching to start off there.
Another swing at one outside off. The umpire decides it's just inside the line. Another dot ball.
It's a good bit of movement there, keeping it far away from the batsman. Does well not to swing at it again. It's a pretty good dream start to the first over for Pembroke.
This one played away off the edge of the bat, runs down to third. They finally get a run off the bat, and it will end the first over. And the score will be 2 for 1. And Little doing a very good job there. Little bounce in the step of the Pembroke players as they go to their new fielding positions. And bowling from the nursery end will be Lou McCarthy. Louise McCarthy.
She's bowling now, Steve. Got it. She'll get away from her first over.
Better off watching it from here, Steve.
Say again.
Better off watching it from here. This way.
Watching your commentary for the first half, Craig. Very good.
Thank you. And Harish, new
Yeah,
commentator
nice to meet you. How
today.
you getting on? Well done. Listen to you today. Well done.
Absolute legend of the club, Steve McCarthy.
Wouldn't quite say that now, Craig.
You're right up there with Louis Hoffman anyway.
Wouldn't be too hard.
Straight through to the keeper with the first ball. Not a huge amount of footwork from Walsh.
Puts a lot of pressure, the right lines, kind of keeping it a disciplined attack.
Another one through to Kavanagh. Another swing of the bat. Another dot ball. And you just wonder, really, where the power of the Clontarf innings is going to come. Pushed through, in the air on the offside, gets through the fielders. Two of them are chasing it down to the boundary, and they will get it there.
Going for the third there and make it pretty comfortably. That's good running between the wickets.
Well, Clontarf need that. They need to be running well. This one powered away, found the gap, and resulted in 3 runs, taking Clontarf on to 5 for the loss of Christina Coulter-Riley. I'm sure she's going to have a much better summer than that.
Played to the onside again, gets the gap. There's a chase there, runs away for a 4, crosses that rope. That looks really good there for Clontarf, getting their first 2 real good shots off the bat, finding the gaps well placed. They'll be happy with that. Bit of hope coming in. I'm sure the rest of the people at the dugout are happy with that.
Oh, another good ball in reply from McCarthy. She finishes her first over. 7 runs come from it. Score's moved on to 9 for 1. The equivalent stage, which is a really strange thing to say after 2 overs, but Pembroke had shot off 20 off the first 2. Clontarf have lost their first wicket, and a score of 9. That target, to remind you again, 1, 2, 3. Clontarf still need 6.3 and over to get the 114 runs they need from the 18 overs remaining. Again, a lovely, glorious evening here at Sydney Parade. There's a bit of a garden fire going on. There could be a barbecue, but the amount of smoke coming off it, it looks like you'd almost want to be calling the fire brigade. Little to continue. This one nicely played away, down towards the Willfield Road gate. It will be picked up inside the fence, but they will get 2.
Lost an early wicket there, but you can still see the intent of the batsman here. Kind of walking down the pitch there, swinging at it. They're looking for runs early, especially making the most of the power play right now.
Well, McNally's on 6. He's got there quite quickly. Little speed carrying it through to the keeper on this occasion.
Very disciplined with the line, just not giving too much room to the batsmen to swing their arms. We've seen in the first innings as well a lot of the runs coming from those wide balls, giving the batsman enough room to swing. It's good to see that start with a disciplined bowling attack from Pembroke.
Thank you, Niall. Niall showing us the barbecue on Willfield Road. It's probably Bannigan.
It's a good bit of nip there and a good bounce. That
She's getting good pace through there, isn't
Yeah.
she? I suppose this is the difference between a club bowler and an international bowler.
That ball had some good bounce and good carry to it, going right to the keeper. Definitely puts an extra bit of doubt in the batsman right there.
This one played back towards the bowler. Direct hit would have been interesting. Cheeky is the one who does the fielding.
good pickup. Had 3 stumps there to hit. Don't always get those when you're trying under pressure, but that would have been interesting if she got that right.
Absolutely. 2 balls remaining in this Louise Little's second over. 5 for 1 at the moment. And Walsh facing. Swing of the bat goes through to Kavanagh. Dot ball, 1 to come.
Clontarf not shy of swinging that bat, trying to connect, get some early runs. We saw how
They don't want to fall too far behind the rate and see that required rate climbing too far. This one kept out really well by Walsh. He's come out with some intent, but also with the knowledge to keep the good ball out. 3 overs gone then, 12 for 1. Louise McCarthy to continue from the nursery end. Late adjustments in the field. The boundary rider on the leg side being pulled further away from the Wheelfield Road gate, more down the railway side.
they've added a boundary rider on the offside as well. Maybe owing to a couple of the shots from the last over there, a bit more protection. You do get to have a couple.
I
Why
think
not
you're
use
exactly right that they're looking for more protection. They've brought up third into the circle, just the 2 outside at the moment. This one's in the air, hit down the ground. It beats the fielder there and will run away to the boundary, and that's the shot of the innings so far. Nice clean hitting from McNally, brings her a boundary, brings 4 onto the total, and the total moves on to 16. It was a bit oppish.
We've seen McNally do a walk down the pitch a couple of times, a good bit of footwork there, getting to the pitch at the ball. McCarthy's been good with a line, gets picked off there.
This one is pulled out to the leg side, and that's exactly the fielder that Kavanagh was moving at the start of the over. And that paid off, just a single, and that brings Walsh back onto strike. Played round into the leg side, they go for the quick single. There is a chance of a run out, but the throw from Bell not quite make it, just outside, as they would say in Major League. So not there for the collection, not there for the run out. Nally comes down the track again. It's a chance of a caught and bowled. McCarthy's left hand goes out, but not quite able to hang on to it. A chance though.
Swing and a miss.
Shadows starting to cross the pitch now as the sun makes its descent. But a good over from McCarthy, just 7 runs from it. Score 19 for 1 now, off 4 overs.
Here we see the cotton ball chance there. McCarthy bowls it right up, comes down the track, hits it right back at her. And not quite sticking there. Always hard to kind of
either sticks or it doesn't.
Always hard in your follow through and
Trying to
going
adjust.
to your
and
left.
it has to be right or it's not happening.
Well, any other day it either sticks or it clips her finger and hits the wicket. There's so many outcomes there. It was, I think, falling right to hit the runner's side as well. You'd take either of those, but she gets away scot-free. Start of the new over.
Little into the third, and that's beautifully driven down the ground. That is a class shot. Super shot from McNally. She's powered it down the ground, picked up another boundary. And really, this Clontarf chase going exceptionally well for them at the moment. They're not letting that run rate get up. They're keeping up with it. They're not losing wickets, and they're playing some glorious shots now that they feel that they're in.
Yeah, McNally really facing a bulk of the balls. during this chase so far and shown some very positive intent there, trying to get over the initial circle there. And here we have
As the alarm runs,
so do the runs. Goes down to third edge there. Take a quick single, relay it back. For a four.
plenty of other bowling options for Pembroke here today. Very Nickel with her medium pace seam. Zoe Bell with her off spin. Sarah Forbes, bit of off spin. Kimberly MacDonald was one of the leading wicket takers last summer. Herself and Orla Prendergast, I think, ended up level in the end. But Kim Lee would have played more games. 15 wickets, I think. Little into her third over now. Oh, it's gone down to third again. This one might reach the boundary. It's gone away with some pace. Nice bit of fielding down there. Keeps it just two. And that's lovely stuff.
I have to go on, look at that line again. Really disciplined bowling by Louisa Little. About the 6-stump line there, cramping up the batsman, going for the swing, gets the edge, misses, goes to the right of the slip fielder there, well collected on the boundary.
Nice bit of fielding of the ball played out in the offside by Zoe Bell. Nice clean pickup.
She's really kept one side of this attack pretty tight, not allowing too much from the batsman. Just keeping that line there. Only McNally been taking on the bowling so far. Should be happy to survive that. We're down to 5 overs, 26 for 1. The run rate's still very achievable. They haven't let it run away from them.
No, less than 6.5. I think that, even 7 we've seen is very possible if you're taking your singles, and these two certainly have been running very well together. So this game not in the bag for Pembroke. Clontarf making, after what they would have been a body blow, losing Christine Coulter-Riley to the first legal delivery. But they've seen off McCarthy. Kim Lee MacDonald now coming on at the nursery end. As I say, had a very successful year last year. That barbecue is very, very smoky. Chewy's taking somebody for a walk. Swinging across that one. Signalled wide. It went down the leg side. Thought it might have hit her.
That tells you a bit about the bowling discipline we've seen so far from Pembroke. And as soon as I say it, there's another wide there. Maybe we should just not say too much, Craig. As soon as we say something, so the commentator's curse just comes right knocking.
Evening. Thank you so much for my mug. I love my mug.
Fine. Oh, it's nice there.
Nicely played away on the offside. They're going to pick up another single, and this is the secret for Clontarf now. If they just keep picking up the singles, they're going to get there. It would help. She was president of Clontarf last year. I know she has a married name, but to me she'll always be Susan Bray. Played away on the offside, dot ball. This inning's going quite well for Clontarf after that calamitous start. Just in the background you may hear the rumble of southbound dart. Oh, does enough to put off the keeper. It's wide. That'll be 5 more onto the total. And Pembroke falling into the same trap that Clontarf did.
Well, that's their first real big over in terms of mistakes with the extras. There a good bit of movement, kind of moving that even wider from the wicket keeper, was unable to keep that in. Runs for 5 wides. An absolute change that'd be more than welcome. And there's another one. It's a chase, but I'm not sure if they're going to get there. They do well to pick it up. It's a good throw back, but that's another 3 runs. Good bit of extras in this over. Just 1 off the bat. 11 runs of 2 balls.
Kim Lee needs to find her line and length here, or at least her line anyway. It's in the air, and isn't that the way of cricket? It's a cruel, cruel game. After 5 wides and 3 wides, she then picks up the second wicket, the score on 37. 37 for 2, and it is Walsh that departs. She's gone for 7, and that's been a good partnership of 37. The Pembroke opening partnership was 42, so they've done a good job there as well.
Yeah, it tells you about that's a good ball coming in, good line. Kind of keeps it in right, finds her line, finds her length, gets an uppish shot, slashes at it. No mistakes made.
Well, if I could ask Niall if he'd play that again. Because I think you'll see what caused Walsh's downfall, and that was no foot movement. Kim Lee finally got one on the paddock, in the right area, as you say, that 4th, 5th stump line, but there was no foot movement from the bat, so there was no power in the shot, and that just meant when it came off the bat, it lifted out to the fielder. Clean catch taken by Isabel Jennings, and Clontarf find themselves 37 for 2. What an over this been.
A roller coaster for both teams.
Another one in the air, and another one caught, and it's a first ball for Gemma Sargent. And my goodness, these two teams playing from the same playbook.
Great line again, just picks it off from, gets an uppish drive shot up in the air, no mistakes made in the field. Again, that's good placement of the field, but also great line that Kim Lee's formed.
It was a good catch as well, above the head. You'll see it here now. Here's the replay. Kim Lee, Gemma Sargent facing her first ball, and it's a big shot. She can't clear the ring, and fine 2-handed catch taken, and the wicket falls, and it's now 37 for 3. And would you believe, this over has gone wide, single off the bat, dot ball, 5 wides, 3 wides, and now she's on a hat-trick.
Wicket. There you go.
Still 2 balls to come in the over. Kim Lee now finds herself on a hat-trick. 11 for 2 you'd think was a bowler's figures after about 4 overs. But no, this is after 4 balls. 11 for 2.
What a game cricket is.
Amazing, isn't it? 1 minute you're thinking, how do I get out of this over?
We were just talking about her finding the line and length, and then
She does it
at
twice.
least the line, and then there she goes, bringing the breakthroughs back to back around the same score, where Pembroke also found themselves a bit stuck on this on one score there. Hit down the ground, a full toss, runs in. Ricochets of one fielder picked up by the other. They scamper for a single, moving to 38. 12 of 2 of 5 balls. What other roller coaster like things does this over have us to offer? Kim Lee running in for last ball of the over. Very entertaining over all around.
It's no guarantee it's the last ball of the over. On this occasion it is, and the score at the end of the over, 38 for 3. The start of the over, 26 for 1. It's 12 runs, 2 wickets, and I think Pembroke will be happier with the 2 wickets than Clontarf are with the 12 runs.
Absolutely. Feel like once you had 11 runs at the first 2 balls, you would feel the pressure come off with the 2 batsmen trying to get a few more runs of that over, trying to hit it over the infield on both cases, not getting enough power onto their shot, being caught back to back. It's a good recovery from Kim Lee.
Yeah.
You'd have thought at the beginning of that Pembroke's having a bad over, but they'd be more than happy with it.
Well, it's a change of bowling at the St John's end. Hannah Little.
Getting a lot of movement there of the first ball. Umpire had a bit of a thought there. Decided it was outside the line for an extra.
Louise McCarthy has gone into slip. I think that's part of the reason is that the amount of movement that Hannah Little got from her first delivery.
That's a much better line. Completely changing angles that it moves away from the batsman. It's not going to be easy to play with that much amount of movement if she keeps that line up.
Clipped away on the leg side out towards square leg. It's just the single.
Think about 2 there, but wise decision not to run that.
Yes, the arm was a good arm in from the outfield. McNally now, well, she'll be carrying a lot of Clontarf's hopes. She's on 19 now.
Craig, since you've said that and given the history we've had so far,
Expect a wicket to fall over now.
immediately. The slip's been removed there. Just came in for 1 ball.
I think she came in for the 1 bat.
From bat, that makes sense. I'd be happy with a bit more of an attacking feel there. She's getting a good amount of movement here. Attacking McNally wouldn't be the worst idea right now.
Big shot down the ground. There is a fielder there. They will get the single, but that will just bring Barry back on strike. 3 balls to go in the over. 40 for 3. How similar the scores are. Pembroke were 42 for 3. Clontarf haven't gone off at quite the same rate, but they're there or thereabouts. I'll show you the worm at the end of the over, and we can have a look at that. Big appeal signalled a wide, so I'm guessing the bat didn't hit it.
Well, we only had the slip shouting for that. Neither the keeper nor the
Nobody
bowler.
else. Yeah, nobody else any interest at all. Perhaps Slip was calling for it because she wanted
To save the wide.
to save the wide. That's a better ball. Attacking that off stump, just played away on the offside with no real power. Again, not moving her feet, so it's hard to get the power in when the feet aren't moving.
It's been a tidy over so far. Only 4 runs off it.
And that one well defended. And that's a good over for Hannah Little. Just the 4 runs coming from it. Score moves on to 42 for 3. And I have a feeling I've said that number before.
At the same time, we had Pembroke at the end of 7 overs at 49 for 3. So not too much keeping the sides apart, even though they had a much slower start.
And
We
while
were
the batsmen are
promised
having
to-
a chat, you can see how Clontarf were starting to catch up, but they lost those 2 wickets there in the 8th over. And now the gap is sort of steady. But it'll be interesting. We'll keep an eye on that during the second innings. But for now, we'll return to the score bar.
Of course, at this point, we had the good partnership between Kavanagh and Bell for Pembroke, and that's something that Clontarf need as well if they want to keep this chase going. Kim Lee coming in again. Charged in, kept wide, swings at it, goes straight to point.
But at least McNally is moving her feet. That's the nice thing, I say. Even though it might look like she's just charging the bowler, at least she's moving her feet and getting into position to play these shots, and that's something that has to be commended.
Yeah, she's been successful enough to make Pembroke really think about where they want to bowl to her. It's bowling a bit wider, trying not to bowl over pitched, or even length's been converted to an overpitched ball by McNally right there.
Nearly pulled out of the shot for that one, knowing it was wide. She's on 20 now from just 24 deliveries. So she really is doing the job that her side need her to do at this stage. Down the track again, big hit out in the offside. There is a fielder out there, and they will prevent the ball going to the boundary, but they won't prevent 2 runs. Maybe more. Oh, no, backed up. Tough one.
You have the shade for your eyes. I don't. So
Yeah.
following that stuff now is getting nightmare.
Well, you can see how long the shadows are getting now. Sun really entering the last phase of the day.
Load this so far. I can't even hide in here anymore, really.
I mean, it is 8 o'clock now, 2 minutes to 8. Can't really complain. This
Hit to
one,
the offside, a bit in the air, but misses the fielder by a bit. They're running for 2 and get there quite comfortably. That's good running between the wickets as it goes wide of the point fielder there. Bit to the air. I don't think Pembroke minds that all that much. They need a couple of chances here and there.
that's it. They have to keep chipping away at those wickets. Don't let the partnerships develop. This one's short, played away beautifully on the offside. Again, the boundary rider will come in, and we'll keep this one to a single.
They have a lot more protection on the offside. Well, they have one more fielder.
1, 2, 3, 4.
A bit of a wide third man.
4 on the offside, 5 on the leg side, and what you do tend to find is hockey players tend to play across the ball.
Yeah, it's 5-4 off.
5-4 off, is it? 1, 2.
It's just coming up.
There we go.
I was talking
Yep.
about the at the deeper kind of protection across the boundary. Now that the power plays are gone,
Well, protecting the boundary square of the wicket. And a little doing the fielding. Another dot ball. Every dot ball helps now.
there's a clear difference in how Pembroke's approaching both batters. One's comparatively new to the other. McNally really being looked at as the threat and the one who has the eye on the ball.
Another shot cut away on the offside. On this occasion, Isabel Jennings with a fine stop in that jaunty Rhodes just behind point position. And that dot ball brings an end to the 8th over. And after 8 overs, 48 for 3. We have to remember the Pembroke innings really sort of stumbled from the 15th over on. 110 for 4 after 15 and 122, 12 runs in the last 5 overs. So Clontarf don't feel like they have to keep up right now because the game will come back to them at the end. It's all about wickets here for Pembroke. They need to get Clontarf more worried about wickets than runs.
Hannah continuing her second over. Bit wide. Hit on the offside. Cut for just a 1.
Nice bit of fielding in the deep. Clontarf just 1 runner away from a team half century now. It's straight up in the air. Somebody's got to go for it. And it's the keeper, Shauna Kavanagh, takes the simplest of catches. And Barry DuPont. Barry?
Yeah.
I think it's Barry departs. And another wicket down. A fourth wicket down for Clontarf with the score on 49. 49 for 4.
Are you ready? Because I was very late pressing the replay, so we'll see how bad it is.
Partnership of 12.
Ready? 3, 2. Yeah.
Up in the air, we just see the results. And the result is that the wicket falls. And Lucy Berry makes her way back to the pavilion. And there are now 4 wickets down, 49 on the board. And you get the feeling there's a bit of relief amongst the Pembroke players now. They feel that they're on top.
I feel like they were always attacking when McNally was on the running end. They're just looking for a break on the other side. The first, you felt like Hannah was really bowling well there. The first row ball on the leg side, she tries to just hit it on the offside. Clips the top edge, goes up, no mistakes from the keeper who takes quite a regulation catch there.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to put that one down, would you? Imagine having to apologise to the bowler afterwards. Oh, sorry about
When I was
that.
going down was if it got lost behind the helmet for long enough that she spun around looking for it or something.
Yeah, now making the point that when you lose it in the air, when your helmet can't see it,
Well, Hannah Little, ball after a wicket, has just dragged that one down.
but you have to remember I made the mistake of saying she's been very consistent as to happen the very next ball, as we've seen time and time again today.
We're only a cauldron short. Cauldron and I have short have been witches down here for what we've made happen in this game today. That one's going to go down the leg side. It's going to be signalled a wide. It's going to run away to the boundary. I can't see anybody getting there in time. Although Kim Lee with a
Makes
spectacular dive, but couldn't get there in time. It goes for 4, and that'll be another 5 onto the total, and it's a welcome 5 from a Clontarf point of view.
Those are tough ones we've been saying are so hard to keep on the leg side. You lose the ball for a second as it's behind the batsman. The keeper this time missing it. It's 5 runs, very happy 5 runs for Clontarf.
Another one
And
goes
that's
down the leg
wide.
side, but on this occasion it's played around. And it's another one that's going to be pulled up inside the rope this time. Kim Lee McDonald having cover a lot of ground. Another wide. So, the Hannah Little wicket.
And see if Hannah kind of picks a page out of Kim Lee's book. Wide 5, wide 3s, and here's the next ball right here.
Wide again.
Gets a lot of movement there. Completely away from the batsman.
26 devices still tuned into this top division clash between Pembroke and Clontarf. Round 1 of the women's season. That one just stuck past everybody. Dot ball. Clontarf reaching sort of the halfway run, halfway mark in terms of runs required.
She's been there for a while, but that's really the first ball she's had to face.
Big swing. No ding.
Just misses the stumps by a little bit. You'd imagine if it clipped anything of her, that goes back into the stumps.
Current run rate is above the run rate required, so Clontarf not too worried about the pace of runs coming. It's just the pace of wickets falling, and Hannah Little has picked up another one in another incredible over with 2 wickets in it.
We'll see the replay of that again if we have it. The ball swung a long way. It looked like it was going even past the leg stumps, but then moves away and hits middle and off. Hannah's really getting a lot of movement there, completely foxing the batsman there. You'll see that here.
So, sorry. That's my fault.
Always one.
Just as I was excitedly calling for the great wicket by Hannah. Let's see if we can get that again now.
Departs.
There we have it again. Hannah running in. She gets so much movement here. The angle of the ball really looking like it's almost missing. Leg moves away, completely foxes the batsman. That's a great ball to get bowled. You love to see that as a pace bowler trying to swing it away.
Well, Clontarf 5 down now, 59 on the board. As I say, as we reach the halfway mark in this reply, the last ball of the 9th over now. And we'll have that one again. As I say, Pembroke won't be too worried about the amount of runs conceded in this over. It's 2 wickets that matter, and it's brought Sinead Thompson to the middle.
They've done it again. Looks like a part of a playbook.
That's a better ball from Little. It completes the over. The score 60 for 5. And one thing I've noticed just by looking at my notes is, well, the wickets fall in clumps. There's no sort of like partnership, no partnership, partnership, no. It's just clumps, clumps, clumps. Pembroke lost 3 in a row and then lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in 6 overs. And Clontarf have lost 2 in the 6th over and 2 in the 9th over. Oh, I must have missed a wicket. Oh, and 1 in the first over.
First was the first legal, did it be? Look at the bottom right of your screen right there. And, well, you don't see it anymore.
What a beautiful sight of the ground, sunlight. You can see just how beautiful an evening it is here in Sydney Parade. And may there be many more like this. Very Nicol now bowling from the nursery end.
Given a wide.
Well, it's consistent anyway. All the bowling there. It's not like you can pick on one bowler and say, ah.
It's almost as if it's the first match of the season and everyone's getting their footing in, really.
It happened last year. I remember last year, April and May, I nearly had to be admitted to Dundrum with anxiety about the number of extras that were being conceded. That's better from Nicol, thudding into the gloves of Kavanagh. $61 for 5, 62 required for victory, and they have 10.5 overs to do it in. But they only have 5 wickets in hand now. Bat comes down the track, smashes it down to mid-off, and they'll just take the single. McNally again, successful with the bat, takes her on to 27. An awful lot resting on her shoulders now if Clontarf are to reach their target of 1, 2, 3.
You'd imagine that Clontarf really wants a bit of support for McNally on the other end there. Just takes a bit of pressure off, gets the singles rolling.
Well, that's what McNally's partners should be looking to do, isn't it? Is don't be looking for the big boundaries, look for the singles. And
does well to keep that away.
Thompson does beautifully. Yorker. McNally calls her through for the single, but that was very sensibly dug out. And McNally was quick to leap on the opportunity to get down to the striker's end. My goodness, Niall, that really is affecting your camera now, isn't it?
Well, less than halfway through the innings here, and in the 10th over.
Short ball from Nicol. Another single.
You just don't want McNally to be worried about keeping and farming the strike right now. Just trusting the other batsman to really come in there and keep the scoreboard ticking. You know, she's going to take on the bowler. She's done that so far, walking down the track and really using her footwork.
Nicol pitching one up. All Thompson can do is go down the track and smother it. I know she's brought her long leg round to fine leg. And I think she's worried about dropping one down the leg side and it running away, and she's giving herself half a chance of getting that cut off. Another one into Kavanagh's gloves, who whips the bails off almost in a practice session, and that's a good over from Nicol, just the 4 coming from it. 10 overs gone then, 64 for 5. And look, they're nearly halfway on the runs, nearly halfway on the wickets, definitely halfway on the overs. And yet, we think that this game probably leaning towards Pembroke at the moment.
Yeah, I think Pembroke will be happy with how things are going so far. The only real challenge they're facing is if McNally gets off here to a cracker of an innings.
Well, first spin of the Pembroke bowling attempt, and Zoe Bell will be the one bowling from the St John's end. And her off spin. And we'll see how McNally decides to approach this.
I think what happens is when you don't have support on the other end, she's been taking singles of every ball almost bowled to her.
Shot out in the offside, and that's a cracking shot square of the wicket. It will let her get back for a second. And that's what she needs, isn't it? If you're going to be running, let's look to run 2. Get her back on strike.
Yeah, but you don't want her thinking about that really, right? Like just
play your game.
It's too early.
Yep.
It's too early and too much in the middle of the innings to do that.
And she needs Thompson to contribute as well, really.
Yeah, just singles, I would say, right? Like at this point, the asking rate isn't that much over. They're actually over the asking rate right now. And a few extras here and there, as we've seen across this match, really helps out. And then you don't want her thinking about farming the strike so early in the game.
No. Number 7 bat with her. You'd expect the number 7 bat to be able to hang around. Change in the field. They've brought up mid-on and sent back long off. Bell really tosses one up. It comes out to mid-on, who fields it and hits the stumps directly, but McNally had made her ground safely. 31 for her now. And the score has moved on. Just
right to the field as he was brought up.
Didn't quite pick it up cleanly.
Casually plonks her bat in, knowing she's well in.
Bell now going round the wicket to the left-hander, looking to turn the ball away from her. That's nicely... Oh.
Bag gives wide. I don't think she's very happy with that. Bit harsh, I think.
Yeah, well, when in doubt, he's given the wide. Tossing it up. This one cut away into the offside. Nice bit of fielding. It was a little that did a superb bit of fielding in the leg side there. Just
two people deep on the leg side. Mid-on is up, but we have a long off for McNally. She comes down the track, hits it right past mid-on, and good dive there, but that's a...
Isabel Jennings unable to stop that one. That's a lovely drive down the ground. McNally coming down the track. She has to make sure she's going to hit these. Lifts it back past the bowler, and it ran away to the boundary. Despite the despairing dive of Isabel Jennings, she couldn't get a hand to it. And 4 more runs to the total. Just 49 required now. Another one hit out. Boundary rider will keep it to 1. And that might not be the worst result for Clontarf either. McNally at the non-striker's end now, but unless Thompson gets a single here, she will have to strike in the next over. Tossed up, hit back to Bell.
They don't...
Oh, they take the run. And that's just a little bit sloppy from Pembroke. That shouldn't have been allowed to happen. A run just given away. However, it does bring Thompson back onto strike.
You don't think it was smart play then?
I'm not saying it was.
Practice.
I'm not saying it was deliberate or smart play. And Bell's first over goes for 12 runs.
I feel like there's a good opportunity for Thompson really to come in, take the single, just show McNally that...
Trust me.
Yeah. Honestly, from a chase perspective, it's really hard for this chase to get on unless McNally has that kind of support there. The fine left fielder really coming in fine. Again.
Oh, French cut. comes down to fine leg. They're thinking of a second. They're going for it. The throw comes in, and she's going to be given out. That second run was never on.
Absolutely unnecessary. I don't know what got into them to try and scamper for that. They waited too long. The fine leg fielder was really chasing that ball down and coming in. Shukla as well to pick that up and throw it right to the keeper.
Sinead Thompson is the one who departs, I think.
You see how late they started on the second one. It looks
She's
like
still there, and it's being picked up now.
after it's picked up, they throw it a good pickup by the keeper and way out of their ground.
Shauna Kavanagh not going to make a mistake there. And that's a 6th wicket that falls. And again, it puts Pembroke back into a situation where they think they're on top. Partnership there, and it was a good one too. 17, one of the better partnerships of the day. Now, was it Sinead Thompson or was it Joanne McNally who failed to make their ground? I think it was Thompson.
It was Thompson for sure. She was on strike, gets that inside edge in, misses the stump somehow, way short of the deep fine leg fielder there. They've lost their left and right partnership. I don't know if there's too much to be said about that, but always a bit helpful for those singles, especially as you need to change the field and your line as you bowl to them. So that's an additional sort of miss with Thompson going back to the shed. I'm sure they're not very happy with themselves.
Nickel now. Oh, that's a bit high. That's going to be a no ball. There'll be a free hit after that. Just a little loose. Signal no ball by square leg first, and then the standing umpire is now signalling for the free hit.
The sun is so low here, and in my eyes, I have to say it's the expertise of Craig here that he's even able to see the umpire give a no ball at square leg.
I was looking for it. That's a better ball, but it goes down the leg side. It will be a wide. Kavanagh picks, throws. Oh, close to running out. Lawless.
I wonder if the bowler does a better job backing up there, if that's a tighter thing, especially with McNally running on the danger end there. Would have been worth trying to get that.
I think almost put it up, and we'll stand up next. Better delivery from Nickel, getting through to the keeper. It hit her on the foot. You can see.
I think that takes the edge of the bat, just misses the stumps by a bit and hits the keeper's legs.
That's all you need now. That's grand.
Now really trying his best to keep the sun out of her eyes as the sun's so low in the horizon.
Still early season. It really does come in at that steep angle. In the air, played away on the offside. They will take the single. The chance of a run out, and it's missed. And they look for the overthrow. They call for the overthrow.
That's
Depends which end she throws to. Oh, close. They are taking risks, Clontarf. They know they need to. Just 40 runs required now. 83 for 6.
McNally just laughed to herself there as she realizes how close that could have been. Just a bit of nerves there, do you think, Craig?
I think it's nerves starting to build all round. Short. Pulled around to the leg side again. This will definitely be 2. The way they ran last time. And they do it again. And they again go to the bowler's end. And again, they get there safely. Another 2 for Clontarf. 38 required. And they still have plenty of deliveries to come. 50 deliveries to come when they needed 38. And Pembroke need to take these 4 wickets or to really tighten up. This one. A wide again. Another 2 runs onto the score. Score moves on to 87.
A bit jittery there with the second run, always ready to run those, but not the smoothest communication between these runners. McNally on strike for the first time in this over, I think.
Well, McNally is doing a fabulous job of taking Clontarf close in this game, and on this occasion a beautiful bit of work from ex-international keeper Shauna Kavanagh. The ball from Nicol getting past the advancing Joanne McNally. She departs for 36 as Kavanagh took the ball cleanly and whipped off just the bails, and that was enough, and that's a good wicket in this, the 12th over. Nicol picking up her first wicket, and it's the second wicket to fall in the over. Score 87 for 7. And Joanne McNally departs. Oh, I didn't see how many she scored.
A massive breakthrough there for Pembroke as McNally goes back to the shed. They'll be happy with that. Received at the dugout with applause. Here we see the replay of that. That's always been the risk with...
Super take. Sorry.
With McNally really
36.
running down the ground. That's always been the risk, and Pembroke's been trying to bowl a bit wide, but she's not missed till there, and all you need to do is miss one.
Partnership of 9 there, and it was a big help, and you could sense Pembroke was starting to get a bit nervous. The runs required just down to 36 now. Now 36 when you're chasing 1, 2, 3 is still a big portion of it, and with 7 wickets down, it's going to be a tough ask.
Oh, what a good ball. Right in the block hole. Completely missed by Paisley. That's not the best first ball you're expecting as a new batsman coming in. It's always tough to dig those ones out of the ground. Does a really good job. And in clumps again.
Yes.
Greg right there.
3 more wickets falling very quickly for Clontarf. They're now 8 down. Still only 36 required, and they have 8 overs to do it in. But 87 for 8. They may have scored 11 runs in that over, but they also lost 3 wickets. And here it is, without interruption.
Comes right down it, couldn't dig it out. Hits the stumps.
Bat and pad not together. Ball's getting through the gap. But H. Pasley makes her way to the sideline. And suddenly the complexion of the game has changed completely.
You look at that required run rate, and that's still a game, but you have number 9 and 10 down there, and that's
the tough bit, isn't it?
That's the tough part of it.
Well, McNally did a great job for a team. She did score 36. She'd been there for an awful long time, seen an awful lot of partners. But it looks like it might be in vain now. Bell to continue from the St John's end. Dockrell, well, swaying as he tried to decide how close to the line that one was. He lets that one go. It's a dot ball for Bell.
It's really been a theme in this match of high scoring overs, followed by a couple of wickets. A full toss there, played to the leg side, caught by a couple of the boundary riders there. Well backed up, take a single.
It's a good throw from Sarah Forbes, doing a good job out there on the boundary.
Here we have the new batsman taking strike as Bell loads up for the third ball of the over. Soft dismissal there, straight back to the bowler. Caught pretty easily, tossed up.
88 for 9 as O'Toole departs without scoring. Another small partnership and another step towards victory tonight for Pembroke. There's 1 wicket remaining. 35 runs looks to be beyond Clontarf now. Here is the wicket. Bell tossing it up. No footwork, no power in the shot, and just hit straight back to the bowler somewhere in that mist. Sun haze, and what a haze it is. The shadows have now reached the commentary position. You can feel the temperatures dropped a couple of degrees down here now. Noel keeps it low anyway. It was up to 15 degrees earlier. It's now dropped to about 13 degrees here in Sydney Parade, according to Niall's thermometer.
Well, you'd wonder how the sun plays its part if we go through.
Hi, Susie.
another 7.5 overs. But if Pembroke has their way, we're not going to have to wait that long.
Bell tosses this one up.
Cheers from the dugout.
Walsh it is who's come in to bat. Good cheers on the sideline for the youngster coming in at number 11. It's a lot to ask of her. Full toss, played away on the leg side, and she's going to get off the mark. And that brings forth a super cheer from the Clontarf bench. They're delighted for Walsh. And the score moves on to 89 for 9. Again, that required rate, well within, but maybe not within the number 10 and 11. Another single taken, that takes them on to 90. All of these, of course, taken closer and closer to more and more bonus points. That's the end of the 13th over. The score 90 for 9. In comparison, Pembroke, after 13 overs, were 95 for 3 and then went into this really slow finish of just 12 runs from the last 5 overs. So it's not like the total is too big. It's just, unfortunately, for Clontarf that they've lost too many wickets.
Well, you saw that the slowdown for Pembroke was really the tail struggling to score any runs, and we're at kind of the extreme of that with Clontarf right now. With their last wicket partnership here, the required rate not being still under 5 here, a few singles here and there, but you'd imagine that's a bit too tough for these two.
That one's just played away on the leg side. That sun haze really does affect the picture.
Oh, it's a nightmare. Even me just trying to see is a nightmare.
Yep. I can well understand that. You can see how much the ground is in shadow now. Played away on the offside. They come through for the single. Lawless picks up another one. I think Lawless is turning around to the captain and sort of saying, I should be higher than I am. Higher than 9.
You can see the spirits in the Pembroke team being quite positive here. Having a good time here, seeing the last few.
Clontarf sideline still cheering on every shot from Walsh. This one, bottom edge. Kavanagh collects. What a super game of cricket we've had here tonight. Oh, that goes through as a full toss. Dot ball. And this over from Forbes. Just what Pembroke needed. Just tighten everything up. It's in the air. Is there anybody underneath it? There is. The catch is taken. The wicket falls. Louise McCarthy it is who cleans up, takes the catch. Sarah Forbes takes 1 for 1 in her first over, and Clontarf are all out for 91 as Walsh departs. And Lawless not out 8. So Pembroke win by 31 runs. I don't know how bonus points and everything work, but as far as Pembroke concerned, that's a first victory on the board for the season.
Here's the last wicket there, full toss, kind of tossed up.
No!
The fielder makes no mistake.
I hit the button
Runs
twice.
there, gets under there,
Somehow I
and
managed
takes
to
the
see what I
last
was doing.
wicket. You can see right as it's impossible to get a very good angle from that place. We have the end of this match. A really good showing from both teams, but Pembroke will be happy with that result.
Well, always good to get the season off with a win, and to play Clontarf when Robin Searle isn't there. And of course, taking that wicket with the first ball of Christine Coulter-Riley made a big difference as well. So we'll go through the cards before we leave you tonight. Thank you very much for joining us, those of you who are nipping off to put the kettle on now. And here is the story of Pembroke's first innings. Well, Sarah Forbes and Louise Little, they put on 42 for the first wicket. But then once wickets started falling, they started falling in bunches. Kavanagh and Bell were the other partnership. They put on 66. But other than that, Clontarf really dragged things back and stopped Pembroke getting away. So much so that they lost 7 wickets in the last 6 overs and only scored 12 runs in the last 5 overs. On the bowling side, Clontarf, there you go. You can't see anything now with the sun there. There are their bowling figures. Best of the pick of the lot was Elisa Pasley, 2 for 15, and Alice Walsh, 2 for 17. Gemma Sargent and Sinead Thompson also chipping in with wickets. And Lucy Barry, well, that was the redemption story of the evening. She conceded that 24 runs from her 2 overs and then was lucky enough, or not lucky enough, good enough to take 2 wickets for just 6 runs in her final 2 overs. Now, the Clontarf reply.
You saw the first legal delivery taking out Christina Coulter-Riley there, and then we put up a good starting partnership, bringing them to more or less the same position as Pembroke was with Julie McNally and Alice Walsh there. Once we saw really the 2 themes of this match being wickets falling in clumps after that, as Alice Walsh and Gemma Sargent go back, and they lose Lucy Berry soon after as well. We see Julie McNally keeping that run score up, really showing positive intent, keeping that running. But then another theme comes up where we see a lot of extras from the Pembroke team as well, a lot of wides, and then 2 overs where you had 5 wides, 3 wides, and you got a couple of wickets really quick there. Those are the really 2 themes we're looking at today. And the bowling here for Pembroke, Louisa Little doing really well in the beginning there with 3 overs, 12 for 1, and then the pick of the lot being 2 wickets each for Kim Lee, Hannah, and Mahari Nicol. They're getting 2 wickets each. Quite a few runs for Hannah as well as Kim Lee going down for those wides we saw earlier, and then really just closed out by Zoe Bell and Sarah Forbes with their overs at the end there.
Well, you can see there from the fall of the wickets, 7, 8, 9 and 10. 4 runs, 4 wickets. Both tails failed to wag today, and that could be the difference. Clontarf were up with the rate for a long time, but they just kept losing wickets in clumps, and it kept knocking them back and knocking them back. However, we finished there with Pembroke winning by 31 runs. We'd like to thank you all for joining us. Harish, I hope you enjoyed it.
Oh.
And I... Oh,
No, you're all right, you're all right. You just tapped it on the way.
did I?
There you go.
There is the match summary. Pembroke will be very thankful to Shauna.
Lens flare.
And Pembroke won by 31 runs. So once again, thank you to Niall. Thank you, Harish, for coming. Did I get it right this time?
Yeah,
Okay.
Harish is good.
Okay, I will get it right from now on. It's just getting used to it that first time. So many thanks to you. I hope you'll be down again. One thing we are looking for is commentator on Sunday, because myself, James, Charlie are out on the pitch.
For everyone listening and watching still, you're going to see me here on Sunday doing the commentary as Craig takes the pitch and has a great game, we hope, and brings Pembroke to another victory.
Well, that is the game. Thank you very much for joining us. Join us again. Our next game is on Saturday, when Pembroke Fifths will be at home. It's the lower teams weekend. The Fifths are at home on Saturday, and the Sixths are at home, the Legends team, on Sunday. So hopefully you'll join us then. But for now, good night.